The movie begins with a minion cleaning the window. He looks outside the window and sees people walking their pets down the road. The minion begins to feel lonely and desires a pet. He takes a leash from the cloth hanger and asks their crazy dog if it would like to be his pet puppy, but the crazy dog scowls at him. The minion goes outside and sees a bunny on a tree. He asks the bunny to be his puppy, but the bunny runs away. He makes the same request to a bird, but the bird flies away. The minion becomes dejected that none of the animals want to be his pet until he sees a tiny beetle. He tries to put a leash on the beetle, but the beetle is too small. Suddenly, a little alien ship arrives and consumes the beetle. The minion is scared at first, but he becomes friends with the alien ship after he offers it a snack and it consumes it. The alien asks for more snacks and the minion gives it to it. The alien then decides to be the minion's pet and allows him to put the leash on it. The minion begins to parade the alien ship about like a pet to the surprise of everyone, including the other minions. The minion and the alien play different games, which makes other minions interested in joining them in the fun. The alien shows the ability that it can enlarge any object. It enlarges the minion's little snack, makes it huge. Other minions bring their snacks and the alien makes it bigger. One night, the minion and the alien sit outside watching the stars. The alien shows the minion his home, and the minion detects that the alien misses home. The minion uses his supercomputer to send coordinates of the alien's location to space, and soon enough, the alien's family comes to Earth to get him. The minion and alien are both sad to leave one another, but before the alien leaves, he returns the minion's beetle to him and makes it bigger. The minion becomes happy that he now has a new pet and hugs the beetle. The alien and the minion say their final goodbyes, and the minion continues parading the beetle as his new pet. It's a cold winter day and a dog watches its owner lay in bed with a rather serious cold. He decides to help out by making his owner a hot cup of tea. Unfortunately, when he looks into the tea jar, he finds out that there is no tea left. He checks the money jar and finds one single coin. The dog takes the coin and goes out into the blistering cold to get some tea for his owner. Outside, he encounters severe snow and a couple of obstacles, but he finally makes it to the tea shop. He knocks on the door, but shop owner refuses his entry and informs him that no dogs are allowed in the shop. The dog manages to distract the shop owner and makes his way into the shop. He hides behind some coffee bags and looks around for the location of the tea box. He finally sees the tea box and distracts the shop owner. Without the shop owner looking, he sneaks to the top of the shelf, but unfortunately topples over a coffee dispenser. The shop owner quickly saves the coffee dispenser and sees the dog. He begins to yell at the dog to leave the shop, but it is too late as the dog gets the tea box. The dog goes to the register and pays for the tea box with the coin and returns back to the house. He quickly makes a hot cup of tea for his owner and hands it to him. The owner drinks the hot cup of tea and immediately feels better. The dog owner shows gratitude to the dog, who jumps happily on the bed. 3 of the minions play in a treehouse, and then 3 scout girls come up to the treehouse with a lot of badges on their scout uniforms. The minions admire the badges and ask where they can get them. The girls then enroll the minions in a scout program with a strict scoutmaster. The scoutmaster announces to them that they will have to complete a bunch of tasks to win any of the badges. The minions agree, and they are given the first task, which is to build up a tent. The minions struggle with setting up their tent, while other campers easily set up their tents and get their badges. The next task involves setting up a campfire, but the minions fail at this task as well. They are told to make animal sounds to attract deer, but they instead make noises that attract a bear. The minions are given a task to differentiate between good fruits and poisonous fruits. They pick the poisonous fruits instead and consume them. The fruit causes them to have hallucinations. They continue to fail all the tasks, but eventually one of them manages to light the campfire. Unfortunately, this is not before one of them shoots a bazooka into the air, which ends up destroying the dam. The camp floods and the minions are dispersed from the camp. The minions return home to the girls without any badge, but the girls give each of them 1 badge each. The other minions begin to envy the minions with badges, and they also decide to enroll in the scout program, to the dismay of the scoutmaster. Norman, a mouse who lives in a vent, watches the residents of an apartment building from the vents of the house. The residents serve as a form of entertainment for Norman. In the first apartment, Norman sees a man and a woman arguing. The woman tells the man, who is her current boyfriend, that she wasn't going to give him any money from her father's inheritance. Norman suspects that the man was only using her for her money and leaves to check on the other residents. In one of the apartments, one of the residents insults his flatmate for going out into the streets in only his underwear. Norman switches to the next neighbors and watches them cooking in the kitchen. He then moves to the next neighbors with a bunch of kids playing in their room. He soon gets bored with them and returns back to the first neighbor. He sees the boyfriend pour some dangerous substances into his girlfriend's drink and gives it to her. Norman knows the drink is poisoned and leaves the vent to foil the boyfriend's evil plans. The girlfriend realizes that the drink is poisoned and tries to escape. She gets attacked by her boyfriend, but Norman comes to the rescue and helps her defeat him. The boyfriend gets arrested by the police and peace returns to the apartment building. Little Agnes joins her friends on their bicycles as they go after the ice cream truck. Agnes tries to ride her bicycle, but she falls along the way and watches the other kids go after the ice cream truck. Sad that she would not be able to get any ice cream, Agnes begins to cry. The minions see her and try to console her. They promise to make her training wheels for her bicycle, but they get a better idea to train Agnes to be a better bike rider. The minions build Agnes a modern bicycle while she trains to be a great biker. After the bicycle is completed, Agnes shows off her new bicycle to her friends who are in awe of her bicycle. They go after the ice cream truck once again, but along the way, a thief comes out of a jewelry store and hijacks the ice cream truck. Agnes becomes angry that she might not be able to get her ice cream again and goes after the thief. Her bicycle becomes super fast, and she begins to chase the truck. She launches a missile from her bicycle and it destroys the truck. The thief gets thrown out of the truck and lands on a police car while Agnes's bicycle crashes into the ice cream truck and blows it up. The explosion scatters all the ice cream into the air, and Agnes finally gets a big chunk of ice cream. The next day, Agnes's friends console her for losing her bicycle, but she tells them that she is happy with the new one she just got. Her new bicycle transforms into a super suit that enables her to fly into the air. An old alligator daydreams about falling in love with the man of her dreams. Her daydream gets impersonated by her friend, who tells her that it is not too late for her to find love. He introduces her to an online dating website and helps her create a profile. She immediately begins to get various offers from different people and goes on a lot of terrible dates. As she leaves the last date dejectedly, her fake falls and she struggles to see. An older male alligator helps her pick up her eye and hands it to her. She wears the eye and thanks the alligator as she begins to take her leave. The male alligator tells her that it is a good night to go moonbathing, and she agrees. They both go to a quiet bench beside the sea and sunbathe together. Kyle, a crazy dog, attacks a postman who comes to drop some letters at the house. The postman, who has always been weary of Kyle, hurriedly drops the letters and runs away into his truck. 3 little girls leave the house and say goodbye to Kyle as they go to school. Kyle leaves the house and goes to the backyard to spy on his crush, a female dog whom he is in love with. Kyle's rival, a better-looking dog, jumps over him and brings a treat for the female dog. Kyle becomes disappointed when he sees her with the better-looking dog. He walks home dejectedly, but then sees a beautiful pink altar in a dog store. Kyle sees the postman going into the store to see the store owner, and he follows the postman into the store. Kyle pretends to be the postman's dog, and he gets gifted the beautiful collar. Kyle decides to take the collar as a gift to the female dog. But before he gets to her, he is ambushed by the better-looking dog and gets the collar taken from him. The better-looking dog presents the beautiful collar to the female dog, but Kyle gives her a cute toy instead. The female dog chooses Kyle's toy and chases away the better-looking dog. The female dog takes Kyle's gift and winks at him as she leaves. Kyle becomes overjoyed because she finally likes him. Timmy, a little sausage, tries to jump into a pool from a grate but becomes scared. Other sausages try to encourage him, but Timmy is unable to make the dive. The other sausages insult him and call him a Winnie. This makes Timmy sad and he leaves crying. On his way home, he sees the mayor of Sausage Town. The mayor asks him why he looks sad, and Timmy tells him that it is because he is called a Winnie by the other sausages. The mayor tells him that it is not such a bad thing to be a Winnie. He reveals to Timmy that they are all Winnies and shows Timmy all the good things about being a Winnie and what a Winnie can do. Timmy, upon seeing all the great things that Winnies can do, finally agrees that he is a Winnie. A thorax and a little bear spy on a man who is trying to sleep on his bed. The thorax asks for the little bear's help and promises to make him a thorax if he helps. The little bear agrees and goes with the thorax to scare the sleeping man. The thorax begins to make whooshing sounds and also uses 2 pieces of stick to cast the shadows of scary figures in the man's room in order to scare him. The young man wakes up and discovers what is going on. He goes to the back of his room and sprays the thorax with a water pipe. He goes back to his room while the little bear abandons the thorax. The thorax yells at the little bear and tells him that he will never become a thorax. 3 minions try to holiday in Miami on Christmas Eve, but discover that the weather is too cold. They see a house and make their way inside. The minions discover that the house belongs to Santa Claus and they decide to become elves. However, they have to undergo training before they become elves. The minions are put in the toy-making department, but they destroy all the toys. The supervisor becomes angry at them and sends them to work in the barn. While in the barn, they unfortunately set free Santa's reindeers, and the reindeers begin to fly about the house. The minions try to stop the reindeers, but end up flying away into the sky, Santa's bag of gifts.